Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Ashtottara Shata Srimad. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajacharya Ashtottara Shata Srimad. His Divine Grace Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to the assembled devotees. Oh, glories to Shishi Guru and Shigauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Liberation, Chapter 4, Ambarish Maharaj offended by Durvasa Muni. Text number 68. Sadhavo hridayam mahyam sadhunan hridayam tvaham mat anyate na jananti nahantebhyo manak api sadhavo hridayam mahyam sadhunam hridayam tvaham mad anyate na janati naham tebhyo manak api sadhavo hridayam mahyam sadhunam hridayam tvaham mad anyate na jananti naham tebhyo manak api. Please chant. Sadhavo hridayam mahyam Sadava the pure devotees, Hridayam, in the core of the heart, Mahyam, of me, Sadhunam, of the pure devotees also, Hridayam, in the core of the heart, to, indeed, Aham, I am, Mat Anyat, anything else but me, Te, they, Na, not, Jananti, no, Na, not, Aham, I, Tebyaha, them, Manak api, even by a little fraction. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The pure devotee, the pure devotee is always within the core of my heart. And I am always in the heart of the pure devotee. My devotees do not know anything else but me, and I do not know anyone else but them. Purport. Since Durvasa Muni wanted to chastise Maharaj Ambarish, it is to be understood that he wanted to give pain to the heart of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For the Lord says, Sadavo Hridayam Mahyam, the pure devotee is always within the core of my heart. The Lord's feelings are like those of a father who feels pain when his child is in pain. Therefore, offenses at the lotus feet of the devotees are serious. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has very strongly recommended that one not commit any offense at the lotus feet of a devotee. Such offenses are compared to a mad elephant, because when a mad elephant enters a garden, it causes devastation. Therefore, one should be extremely careful not to commit offenses at the lotus feet of a pure devotee. Actually, Maharaj Ambarish was not at all at fault. Durvasa Muni unnecessarily wanted to chastise him on flimsy grounds. Maharaj Ambarish wanted to complete the Ekadasi Parana as part of devotional service to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he drank a little water. But although Durvasa Muni was a great mystic Brahmana, he did not know what is what. That is the difference between a pure devotee and a so-called learned scholar of Vedic knowledge. The devotees, being always situated in the core of the Lord's heart, surely get all instructions directly from the Lord, as confirmed by the Lord Himself in Bhagavad Gita 10:11. Tesan evanukam partam aham agyanan yam tamaha nasyami atma vavashto jnana dipena vashvata. Quote, out of compassion for them, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. End of quote. The devotee does not do anything not sanctioned by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As it is said, Vaishnavera kriya mudra vigyeha na bujhaya. Even the most learned or experienced person cannot understand the movements of a Vaishnava, a pure devotee. No one, therefore, should criticize a pure Vaishnava. A Vaishnava knows his own business, whether he does it precisely right because whatever he does is precisely right because he's always guided by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sadhavo hridayam mahyam sadhunan hridayam tvaham mat anyat te na jananti nahantebhyo manak api. The pure devotee is always within the core of my heart, and I am always in the heart of the pure devotees. My devotees do not know anything else but me, and I do not know anyone else but them. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jananjana Shlakaya Chakshur Ummilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatyade Satarine. Vanchakalpatarubhyasha Kripasindhuvya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So this is one of the most famous and important verses of instruction in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is, just to say that is quite, a statement. We've been hearing the preamble to this famous verse in which Krishna reveals this very confidential, he reveals his heart. When we think about that here is the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is beyond this material manifestation, who is the controller of everything, the source of everything, the all-powerful personality of Godhead. That we, the tiny conditioned souls, basically have very little understanding of it. Such a great personality, such remove in one sense from an immediate, how would you say, daily reality in one sense. I mean, we function on the rules and the laws that God has given us, that Krishna has given us. But we don't, as conditioned souls, we don't have much entrance to the intimate relationship with Him at this stage of our, consciousness. And here is Him revealing His heart, very intimately revealing His heart. I mentioned before that's why He called, similarly in the Bhagavad Gita, He expresses to Arjuna that this revelation He calls the Raja Guhyam, the king of all secrets. So it's the most confidential knowledge. Prabhupada also qualifies that part of the Bhagavad Gita in which this verse appears, the chapter 9, as the most confidential knowledge. That's the title of the chapter, the most confidential knowledge. So the most confidential knowledge is that which have entrance, who give us entrance into Krishna's heart. So it's the key to enter into Krishna's heart, which is quite something. The fact is that Krishna makes it an open secret. Also is the king, or is the greatest, is the most confidential knowledge. Something that are confidential are not the regular people who have interest too. So like the government has very confidential bodies of knowledge that they have, a red seal to it, that is called, what is the name that they say is not available for everybody. They use a term. What you remember? Classify, right? It's classify information, meaning that only certain type of people have access to it. And it's not open for the public. So similarly, there's this confidential, very classified information that you have to be very qualified to be able to enter into that space. So Krishna is telling us this space exists, and this space is only and exclusively for devotees. But what type of devotees? The devotees who, the term here is mat anyat te na jananti. This anyat is also a term that is used in the Bhagavad Gita, that ananya bhakti, or the type of bhakti that is single-pointed, that is exclusive. Ananya means exclusive devotion. When this exclusive devotion is there, that the devotee doesn't know anything but Krishna, then that devotee enters into Krishna's heart. So the qualification to enter into Krishna's heart is that our heart is filled with Krishna. So we have to sort of prepare or make our heart a suitable residence for Krishna. And that is a principle of the process of devotional service that is given to us by Lord Chaitanya. That is so much emphasis in the cleansing of the heart, because it is understood that in the heart, that's where the Lord resides. That's where you receive the heart. So the pastime of the cleansing of the Gundicha temple is in Lord Chaitanya's Lila, is the pastime that teaches the importance of making the place, making a suitable arrangement for the Lord to enter, that chamber or that place of worship. So, the cleansing of the Gundicha temple to receive Lord Jagannath is equal to the cleansing of the heart to receive Krishna. So we have to clean our heart. As long as our heart is contaminated and dirty and filled with unwanted things, then it's not a suitable place to actually invite the Lord. It's common sense. Imagine, to bring the deities into a filthy place that is contaminated with all kinds of filthy things. It's not appropriate. Or if you want to invite someone that you want to bring into, to establish a close relationship, and you bring this person into a filthy place. So it's not appropriate. It's common sense. So the process of making the heart ready to receive Krishna, because when Krishna enters our heart, then we have access to we have entrance into Krishna's heart. So it's a simultaneous thing. This weekend we had a gathering of devotees studying under the guidance of Urmila Mataji, brilliant presentation on this very small but important book by Srila Raghunath Das Goswami that is called the Sri Manashiksha. And it's only 11 verses. But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur tells us that this little book is very, very important because it gives us a padati. Padati means a path to follow, step-by-step path. So it's a step-by-step path that allows to go from the beginning of our Krishna consciousness all the way to receive the gift of Lord Chaitanya, which is entrance into the intimate pastimes of Shri Radha and Krishna. And this is what Lord Chaitanya is giving us. Namo Mahabhadane Krishna Prema Pradayate. He is giving us entrance to receive Krishna Prema, which is the love or the prema, the loving service of Krishna in the mood of Vrindavan, in Vrindavan. It's the highest elevation that is there in the whole manifestation, spiritual manifestation. So it's a padati, step by step. And before being able to enter into that space of that intimate relationship with Shri Radha and Krishna, we have to make our heart ready for that. And that's, the majority of the book is guiding us in that. And we go from very gross manifestations of unwanted things to a much more subtle and much more subtle. So the first thing that we address as we come to Krishna consciousness is the gross manifestations of pride, which Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that these gross manifestations of pride starts with illusion, Maya. As being conditioned and in the materialistic world, the conceptions that we have of life is based on an illusion. The illusion that I am this body and this world is meant for my enjoyment. It's a bodily conception of life, and it's a very extremely selfish approach. It's about me and my enjoyment. This is who I am, this body, and this is mine. So Maya and avidya. Avidya means ignorance. Ignorance of your spiritual, actually absolutely no clue of your spiritual identity or your spiritual nature, or what is right and what is wrong. No clue of religious principles. Ignorance means, the Bhagavad Gita describes that people in ignorance, afflicted by ignorance, think of religion as irreligion and irreligion as religion. So they have the whole thing upside down. So Maya and avidya. Then the cheating propensity, which means that I think the Sanskrit word is katapata. The this cheating propensity that one tries to get things by hook or by crook. One is having this agenda that at the end really is about me. So I might say, I love you, or I do this for you, but at the end it's about me. And so I do things, I try to arrange things, to facilitate just my sense gratification and my sense of possessiveness and control. And the next one, so we have three, the next one is asaralata, which means that no regard for simplicity. So the simplicity of life, of consciousness, of approach is very far from, the contrary. Rather, everything is so complicated and convoluted and how you say, when you have so many things in a room, clutter like that, so much attachment for acquiring unnecessary things, that everything is so complicated and cluttered, rather than be simple, the simplicity. And simplicity, and the last one is I got a blank. Illusion, ignorance, cheating, simplicity, and deceit, or hypocrisy, or duplicity, being duplicities. So these are the things, or the characteristics of materialistic people. And they're based on pride. They're not, even when they're confronted with these things, they confronted that, oh, we got you, you're cheating, you're lying. They, with a clean face, politicians are like that. They get caught and they say, no, there's nothing wrong with what I'm doing. You find some loop in the laws, and then you say, yeah, it's not wrong because I'm, this is like that, and I can cheat. I don't pay my taxes because of, like this, or I don't do like. So they never wrong. They're always right. Type of thing. So it's a position of pride. So in the beginning, Srila Raghunath Goswami tells his mind, give up pride. Working consistently and with determination to give this position of pride. And then what you should do, you should actually become or develop or cultivate this, and he actually emphasizes so much, unprecedented attachment. And he doesn't say only unprecedented. Unprecedented means that it's just like, it's so uncommon. It's not regular attachment. We have attachments in the material world. I'm attached to my family or to whatever, friends and things like that. But this is unprecedented attachment. That is, and then he says, unprecedented and make it excessive. Not just unprecedented, but just go over the board with it. Of these 5 things, which is what Srila Rupa Goswami described as the activities, or the activities that are purifying for the heart, which is the holy name. Well, we start with Guru, Sri Guru. Srila Rupa Raghunath Das Goswami said this, Sri Guru. You become unprecedentedly develop an unprecedented attachment and excessive towards your Guru Maharaj or those who are guiding you. Through Sri Vrindavan Dham, the holy Dham. And when we're talking about the holy Dham or Sri Vrindavan Dham, Sri Vrindavan specifically, Sri Vrindavan, means that wherever Shri Radha and Krishna is present is Vrindavan Dham. So, are we sitting where now? We're sitting in Sri Vrindavan Dham. So, this unprecedented, excessive attachment to Sri Vrindavan Dham, like the temple where Shri Radha and Krishna reside, Shri Kishore Kishori, is Vrindavan Krishna. And Srimati Radharani, the queen, Brajeshwari, the queen of Vrindavan. So, Sri Vrindavan Dham. The Vaishnavas, the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, and the holy name, the Srimad Bhagavatam, or the hearing the glories and the pastimes of the Lord, and the process of worshiping or surrendering to the divine couple, Shri Radha and Krishna, Shri Kishore Kishori, deity worship. So these activities, these 5, are the prime activities that purifies or cleanses our heart. Each one of them, very powerful to cleanse our hearts. So, giving up pride and endeavoring very sincerely to actually perform these activities with attachment, unprecedented attachment, and excessive too. There's no limit. We can go over the board about them. So is the first step, the first padati. So that's what we come, the devotees, the majority of us. I mean, all of us that comes to Krishna consciousness. We give up the position of the materialistic person, and we accept that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Prabhupada is Krishna's representative. So we come to that position. But we have to work very, very conscientiously and strongly to give up these things, to give up these manifestations of pride and to engage ourselves in these activities, full-hearted. And then the next padati is dealing with the false ego. Because even as we come as devotees, we still have a sense of identity. I'm good. I'm a good devotee. I'm doing these things. I'm engaging in these activities daily. I live in the temple, in Sri Vrindavan Dham. I'm engaged in the service of Shri Kishore Kishori. And so I'm good. I'm doing something right. So I have a sense I still dealing with identities, okay, this is right and this is wrong, and being caught in this duality. So it's a higher level of consciousness, of approaching, making much more deeper your consciousness. So the idea that I am, I'm a good devotee, or I'm this, or I'm that, the whole thing of I am, we have to give up that. We have to give up the sense of, I am religious because I follow all this, I do the right things. So, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami says that we give up this position of being dharmic or adharmic. I don't necessarily follow all the rules and regulations because, I am dharmic. Or I don't commit any sinful acts because I'm not adharmic, like that. But rather, I give up the thing and just exclusively engage myself as the servant of Shishikishor Kishori. So, the position that is being given here is what we understand from Krishna, when Krishna gives us in the Bhagavad Gita to come and give up all kinds of dharmas, of identities, and just accept exclusively the worship of Radha and Krishna. Single-pointed, the worship of Shri Radha and Krishna, Shri Kishore Kishori. So, that brings some doubts, especially, for the devotees who goes to the stage of grihastha. How would you maintain yourself when you give up dharmic duties? How you maintain yourself? And the answer Krishna gives in the Bhagavad Gita, you don't worry, I will maintain you. I will protect you and maintain you. But also is, if I'm exclusively, because this is something that happens sometimes, if I'm exclusively worshipping Shishikishor Kishori, the call is for exclusive devotion to the divine couple, Shri Radha and Krishna. What about Lord Chaitanya? How can I include the worship of Lord Chaitanya? If exclusively is Shishikishor Kishori, where is Lord Chaitanya fit? So Srila Raghunath Das Goswami says that one should meditate, Lord Chaitanya is the son of Nanda Maharaj. It's not different. Lord Chaitanya is Radha and Krishna combined. So there's no difference there. But also, then how about your Guru Maharaj? Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti described Vyavasajamika Buddhi, that single-pointed intelligence is directed at serving the instructions of the spiritual master. So how this also fits into this picture of exclusive devotion to the divine couple? Is that Sri Raghunath Das Goswami say in this second Padati that we have to see the spiritual master as the most dear friend of Krishna. There's a very, very, very close relationship. Therefore, in the Guru Ashtaka, we says that, Shaksha Darittvena Shamastra Shastra, that the spiritual master is very dear to Lord Krishna, very dear to Lord Krishna. Just like Krishna is telling Durvasa Muni, Lord Vishnu is telling Durvasa Muni, that Maharaj Ambarish is very dear, basically. He's in my heart. Then the third padati have to do with that taking shelter of the service, the exclusive, this focus on the service of the divine couple, following the instructions of Srila Rupa and Sanatana and Srila Swarup Damodar Goswami. Swarup Damodar Goswami is described because Swarup Damodar Goswami was the guru, or Srila Raghunath Das Goswami was called by Lord Chaitanya as Swarup Raghunath, something like that. He was the Raghunath of Swarup because he was under the care of Swarup Damodar Goswami. And Swarup Damodar Goswami was the one who gave these instructions to Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. So taking the shelter of these great acharyas, we following the instructions and taking shelter on their instructions, we worship the divine couple. Then the fourth padati have to do with the importance of the sound vibrations that we surround ourselves with. Now, we have attachment for these activities. The activities, our relationship with our Guru Maharaj. We have attachments to the temple in which, the Lord reside, and also the holy Dham, Sri Vrindavan Dham. We have attachment to the devotees. We have attachment to the process of devotional service, of worshiping. We have attachment to the holy name, to chanting the holy name, and we have attachment to hear the pastimes of the Lord and the glorifications. We are taking with enthusiasm the worship of Shri Radha and Krishna, and also Lord Chaitanya, and also we have the proper understanding of the position of my Guru Maharaj as the intimate associate of Krishna. And I'm receiving and following on. We are called by Prabhupada's grace, we are Rupanugas, which were followers of Srila Rupa Goswami, the teachings of Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Sanatana Goswami. Aditi worship is, basically presented by Srila Sanatana Goswami. So, but we have to be very careful about the type of sound vibrations that we surrounded ourselves with, or we expose ourselves with. And sometimes we take that for granted. And it is explained that the first major obstacle, even after establishing yourself in that position, the obstacle of mundane sounds, being exposed to mundane sounds, and what it does to the heart. Because by working sincerely in these activities of devotional service that cleanses our heart starts to not only being cleansed, but actually they receive the jewels of Krishna devotional service. They're like jewels. It's wealth. The wealth of devotional service as we become, as we do these activities. They're not pious activities, they're transcendental activities. It's a wealth that is there. And then Srila Raghunath Das Goswami compares the mundane talk, this prajalpa, as a prostitute. And the prostitute in general, basically, in the plea of giving you some sense gratification, then takes your money, and takes not only your money but also your morality and your good qualities. Everything is the payment that you have to give to a prostitute. So the prostitute of mundane talks and sounds takes from our heart the wealth of Krishna consciousness. steals it. And then also he says, we have to protect ourselves. Mind, please protect yourself of this prostitute, but also we have to be careful. If we don't have a problem for the prostitute, we may have a problems with, sitting carelessly in a space that we can be eaten by this tigress. And it's the tigress of the talks of liberation. He compares that this impersonal liberation, or this focus on becoming free from material condition and the whole impersonal talk is like a tigress that will eat you alive. So he says that the solution for that obstacle is to absorb oneself in the teachings of the scriptures. To absorb oneself in the hearing and chanting of the revealed scriptures. The Srimad Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Gita, to study very carefully these teachings. To surround ourselves with transcendental sound, basically. The hearing and chanting. And to avoid completely, just like Srila Rupa Goswami said, Prajalpa Nijamagraha, that we have to avoid this Prajalpa, this mundane thought. And then, so those are our words, those are the sounds. Then our actions is the next padati that we have to also into a much more subtle, first our words, the sounds that we have, now the actions that we do. And our actions have to match at words, like sometimes we see that we have to walk the talk, right? Walk the talk. So our actions have to match the sounds that we surround with. And so we surround ourselves with this transcendental sound vibration. We avoid to have these mundane topics and talks. So we're situated in the shining path of devotional service. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami said that in this shining path of devotional service is not free from danger, but actually they are a gang of thieves that is hiding, waiting to attack any persons who take this path. And these are 6, and they lead by this. The chief thief is called lust. So the 6: lust, anger, greed, madness, envy, and the last one is madness, envy, anger. No, I think is hypocrisy. No, maybe can't remember. Anyway, they're the famous 6, enemies. So these people, these thieves, are armed with weapons and also ropes. And the ropes he says that the ropes are the ropes of misdeeds. And they tied the devotee who's walking in this beautiful shining path. They attacked you and they tied you by the neck and forced you with these ropes of misdeeds to do something that you just don't want to do. They force you, they push you by the neck to do these things. They said, we remember Arjuna asking Krishna, what is it that even to a man that of knowledge is forced to act in a sinful way, even without wanting it. And Krishna say, it is loss, Arjuna, the greatest enemy. So loss and the associate of loss, they do this. They attack you, or that they attacked us, the devotees who are in this path. So Srila Raghunath Goswami explains, he says, what we should do. We should call, help! I've been killed! Scream, call for the devotees, for the great devotees, for those, the devotees of the killer of the Baka demon. So, call for the devotees of Krishna. Call for the devotees, those who are the guardians of the path of bhakti. And call for their protection. I've been killed. Piteously, call for them. And they will chase away, all these enemies. So, the next padati have to do with the mind. Because now that we chase, away all these gross enemies of loss, anger, greed, deceit, all the things. Now, we have to deal with a mind who, I'm free from these things, so now, I'm situated in a position that is static. I'm free now, I'm not afraid anymore, I'm not attacked anymore by thieves. I am protected by the guardians of the path of bhakti. And then now is the mind that is attached to being honored and the prestige of being, a devotee who is strongly situated in the path of devotional service. With devotional service, with this, when you're in that position, then it comes the recognition of being a devotee, the prestige of being a devotee. So, Srila Raghunath Goswami considers this situation to be like the urine of a big donkey. He says, like burns your mind, In other words, when we become free from loss, anger, deceit, greed, all the things, we become peaceful. But even after overcoming that, if your mind is still burning, it's burning because it is creating something that it have to do with prestige. The verse says like this, "O ruffian mind, why do you burn yourself and me, the soul, by bathing in the trickling urine of the great donkey of full-blown hypocrisy and duplicity?" So, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains that, in the different levels of devotees, it can manifest this bathing in urine of a big, ugly donkey, manifests as, for example, you performing devotional service, but and you're situated in devotionals and you start to enjoy the benefits of devotional service. You start to take it as just for your enjoyment. It's my enjoyment. It's concentrating on my enjoyment to sit down and sing, and then being appreciated, or sit down and give a class and, say, it's about, for my enjoyment, or taking prasadam, or the accumulating wealth. People give donations, or people give gifts, and you start to accumulate like that. In other words, enjoying the benefit of devotional service for your sense gratification. The mind becomes attached to that deceitful position. Or in higher levels, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that devotees who prefer the association of mundane people than that of devotees, because they're more influential or things like that. Or they neglect devotees and then give such careful attention to rich people. The devotees, who cares about the devotees? Remember sometimes, we were living in the temple, and there were discussion about some of the congregation members discussing, they're devotees, why do they need heat? We don't need it. We can save money. They're supposed to be renunciants. So, we save money by not paying so much, that don't put in the heat in the temple. That type of mentality. So, you neglect the devotees. Another one in a higher level, so there's so many examples Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives. In a higher level, the position of being a spiritual leader, a sannyasi or a guru, and then you start to bank on the prestige of that, and then sometimes you may treat devotees badly, or simply we're performing devotional service to be recognized by others. That's all obstacles created by the mind that are compared to taking a bath in donkey urine. And Srila Raghunath Das Goswami tells that rather, if we want to move or address that much more subtle anartha, we have to bathe in the ocean of love emanating from the lotus feet of Sri Sri Gandharvika Giridhari, thereby delighting yourself and me. So, in that position, we call for Krishna, and we bathe, in the relationship that we have with Kishore Kishori. We divert our attention to the loving relationship, the loving reciprocation, the ocean of love that emanates from the lotus feet. And then the one that makes the hearts ready finally is when we get to address the mind, the next thing that we address is the heart. So we have to address the heart. We have to make the heart a suitable place for the beautiful ladies of bhakti, is explained, the ladies of devotion, to reside. Because they will make the place suitable for Krishna worship, to Krishna to be worshipped. So basically your heart becomes like Vrindavan. And that's when Krishna is fully present. So, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami says that the part that we have to address in our heart is the desire for prestige. It's the most subtle thing, this labha, puja, and pratishta. when we come to the positions of being, even our mind, being absorbed in the service of Shri Radha and Krishna, when we even come into a very elevated position, then one have to deal with that position that is recognized by all, and the position of people worshiping you because of your elevation. So the prestige that being, a strong, elevated devotee of Krishna brings, so is compared, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami compared this desire for prestige as a dog-eating, unchaste woman who's dancing in your heart, serving a dead dog as, the main course of the feast. And and actingly in a very unchaste manner with his boyfriend who is deceived. So imagine the pure ladies or the pure ladies of love, of prema. If you imagine these pure ladies, they come and then they're going to enter the room, and when they see is this scene of an unchaste dancing woman with his boyfriend, this deceived person serving a feast of a dead dog. So you think they would like to enter there? It's like, woof, I'm out of here. So that's the condition of the heart that wants to be. Imagine just the scene, and we're talking about this is the padati that addresses the heart. So we have to kick that woman and clean the place, of the stench of a dead dog. And then the way of doing that, Srila Raghunath Goswami say, therefore, O mind, you should always serve the incomparable, beloved devotee commander of Krishna's army, who will immediately throw out the unchaste woman and establish the pure lady of love in the heart. So that is Srila Prabhupada. So taking shelter of Prabhupada's teachings, Prabhupada's directions, Prabhupada's devotees, Prabhupada's movement, then, making that connection, then this desire for prestige, when it gets kicked out, then our heart becomes now the residence of the place of the pure ladies of love. And then Krishna can enter and be properly worshipped. So, just a bit of a summary, from my, level of understanding what I took from this very, very nice weekend that we had hearing this, the glories of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami and his teachings, his meditation. It goes deeper too. The verses goes now in Srila Raghunath Das Goswami's description of how to receive one's identity, the Raganuga Bhakti part that these books establish, that actually Srila Prabhupada's movements, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta and Srila Prabhupada, is providing for us the full path of, sadhana bhakti, which includes Vaidhi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti. So Raganuga Bhakti is also within, what we're learning from the teachings of our acharyas. Any comments or questions? I'll pass over my time a little bit, but All right. Yes. Thank you. We all right? Krishna Archana? You can give the microphone, Giridhari, before you go. Turn it on, make sure it's on too. No, there's a switch on the side of there's that. Just make sure it's on. That should be the way. There we go. Thanks.
In the breakdown of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami that you went through, the all the enemies on the road of bhakti you highlighted, and prior to beginning the breakdown of the various enemies on the road, mention was made of the necessity to give up pride.
Dimitri, in the mixer, chapter, the last fader, all the way to the right. No, just bring the mixer, that cloth. The last of the faders. Oops, what happened? Krishna. Okay, bring it down. Now, the second one, bring it down too. Top.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Okay.
So,
bring it up a little bit, the second one. Up, no, the second one, bring it up a little bit. Yeah.
So, prior to the enumeration of those various enemies that one has to confront in the mind, you mentioned that there was the necessity to give up pride, and then working through the various enemies that one has to confront in the mind on the path of bhakti, you came to look at what you pointed out seemed to be the most insidious one, that even if one had actually got past the various other ones of the lust, the anger, the greed, the hypocrisy, waiting at the end of the road, or closer to the end of the road, was the one of looking for honor and prestige. And so the question is, if pride has been consistently worked on being given up in the confronting each of those enemies through calling on the devotee or practicing consistently the 5, a powerful means for confronting those enemies that you'd highlighted from Srila Raghunath Das Goswami's book. How is it that that appears to be like an extreme manifestation of pride, looking for honor and prestige, is waiting at the end of the road if throughout one is actually, because mention was made, giving up pride. So if that has been the consistent work to give up pride, why is it that the last one on the end of the road is one that seems to epitomize pride?
Yeah, I think it's more subtle and subtle layers of it, you know. So you go into much subtle layers. So ultimately, the disease that we have is that we, you know, this icha, dvesha, shamutena, that we come to the material world with hatred and desire, hatred of Krishna. So that's at the, almost like at the most primeval, you know, level. So I think we go in different layers of dealing with all these things, pride, and then, you know, you take care of the most gross level, and then you come, that's what this padati I understood is, you go into more subtle space. So yes, the last one is the most subtle one. When you already defeated the most gross ones, then you go to the last one that basically can take you back to square number one, you know. So yeah, is that, yeah, Dimitri, Prabhu?
I don't know how to start this question. It's a little bit complicated. So it's just like, it, like some, like different people get information very differently. Depends on their psychological state of mind. Like some people, like in Srimad Bhagavatam and all the Vedic information, it gives a lot of like information like this is wrong, and everybody can find something wrong in themselves, like a lot. Some people get that like, yeah, that like easy, but some people get that like guilty and like feeling of shame. And I feel like these feelings like guilty and self-punishment can bring you to very like wrong direction. You know, like I'm like a dog. I'm like ugly donkey urine. So I don't know, is it question or not, but like where is this like border between realizing that we came to this world on imperfect, and we all have some problems, and anyway I deserve happiness and to love. And so where is this border between like thinking that I'm guilty, I have to purify myself to make clean, to come closer to Krishna, because like my general like point of view of Vedic scriptures is like you totally don't know what you're talking about. You should listen only to Srimad Bhagavatam. It says everything there. When you say something, you have to be according to Srimad Bhagavatam, because your senses are impure, you are imperfect. You know, like somebody can get it like pure knowledge, you know, and I have to listen to that, take to me and come closer to Krishna, but somebody can just be destroyed with this information because some people feeling really guilty themselves and really shame. And instead of becoming conscious, they becoming like just miserable because they cannot think anymore, like to make some decisions only following Srimad Bhagavatam. So like I don't know where is the point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got the question. One of the things that I sort of, from my limited realization, is our motivation. We have to have it. We have to have clear what our motivation is. If our motivation is to actually become a Krishna consciousness, to become realized of our eternal relationship with Krishna, then then everything in the path to that has a purpose and is very positive. So, I understand I'm in this point, which I'm afflicted by all these different obstacles and things that I have to learn and overcome for getting to this point. So, it's like, I don't know if you have done, some mountain trek. If you want to get to the summit, you have to go to these different obstacles and things and climb this and trek to this and pass this and like that. And then finally, one comes to the summit, and then you achieve. So similar, when the purpose is that, when the purpose is different, when the purpose of our doing our devotional service is for acquiring something that I think is good for me, or that, is about me. It's not necessarily about developing my relationship with Krishna, but it's about me being free of something that I think is not nice. Then we put ourselves in a situation that makes us vulnerable to happiness and distress or frustration and this type of thing, because it's depending on our own effort. It's depending in the result that we're looking. If my goal or my motivation is to be free from material misery, and that's what I'm doing devotional service, or my motivation is to have whatever. I mean, there's the 4 motivations that people has when they come to Krishna consciousness: wealth, freedom from miseries or from difficulties, inquisitiveness, just want to know things, or liberation. Those are motivations that in the beginning cause us these difficulties. If our mind is not happy, if we feel some sort of negative emotion, dissatisfaction or guiltiness or shame, then it's because we're not fully connecting to our motivation is not perfectly connecting to becoming closer to Krishna. I mean, in one sense, if I made a mistake in my path and I commit an offense, or I fall down, deviate from the path and do something that is not Krishna consciousness, then I may feel ashamed or may feel guilty, but it's a that feeling leads me to actually have a stronger motivation for, if my goal is becoming Krishna consciousness, then it becomes, like a very important lesson to actually do the right thing. So it's always have this positive result. But if the result is I'm becoming morose and I'm becoming unenthusiastic about, developing these unprecedented excessive attachments, then it means that my motivation is not right. So, the part of making sure that we are actually doing what we do to become Krishna consciousness, not to overcome this or that. The overcoming of this or that is just by the way, as we start to tune in and become more focused and more settled in the activities of devotional service to Shri Shri Kishore Kishori. And that's what we pursue, and everything has that purpose. Everything is connected to that. It's natural that we make mistakes. In the beginning, that's natural. So mistakes are great, because when mistakes are made in the process of learning, they're very powerful lessons. So, but if the purpose is different, if the purpose is something else, then it becomes, it becomes a very bewildering ordeal. Does that address your question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Karantarashman Bhagavatam ki jai.